All right, we are recording. So I will start the meeting as I did last year, which was exactly 1 year ago today, January 7th, 2020. So good evening and welcome to the Thursday, January 7th, 2021 reorganization meeting of the Eastchester Board of Fire Commissioners. Please join me in a salute to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. I would like to welcome and introduce new Commissioner Paul Ranalone. Welcome, Commissioner Ranalone. He is no stranger to the Eastchester Fire District. He served as a volunteer, a career firefighter, and career lieutenant, and retired in 2019. Welcome, Commissioner Ranalone.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you. At this time, oops, I'm sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
I was just going to congratulate Paul on his 270 votes.
Thank you very much.
At this time, I would like to ask for a discussion and motion to elect a chairman for the Board of Fire Commissioners for the year 2021.
Yeah, I mean, I would make I would throw it out there. I think Tom Roach has done an outstanding job as a second in the last year. He's experienced and enthusiastic, and I would certainly nominate him to be considered as our chairman.
Well, I'll accept that nomination. Thank you, Stu.
You seconding it?
No, I accept.
No, I will second it. I'll second
Somebody
it
did.
also.
All right,
We'll all second it.
call the roll.
Okay, roll call vote to elect Thomas Rose as chairman of the Board of Fire Commissioners for 2021. Commissioner Ranalone.
Aye.
Commissioner Keating.
Aye.
Commissioner Carlo.
Aye.
Commissioner Roche.
I'll abstain.
Commissioner Rabin.
Aye.
Okay, congratulations, Commissioner Roche, and I'll turn the meeting over to you as chairman.
Well, thank you, colleagues, and I certainly will do my best to fulfill your trust. So the second matter then is to make a temporary or vice chairman of the board. And I would like to nominate Commissioner Paul Carlo, if he would be willing to accept.
Well, thank you, Tom, for that nomination, but sometimes my hours are just not feasible, and I don't know if I could just really support that role this year.
All right, well, that's fair enough. Thank you, Paul. Is there any other suggestions?
Yeah, I would nominate Brian, not Queen, Brian. Commissioner Brian.
Brian, do you have enough time to fulfill that role?
Thank you, Stu. That was kind of you. Listen, if we do not have anybody else to do it, I would happily do it. I, like Paul Carlo and Stuart, and am extremely busy, have been extremely busy this year too. I don't think it would be fair to you guys for me to do it. But like I said, if we do not have anybody to do it, then I would do it.
Great. Somebody
Well,
second.
I'll second that motion then, and call the roll. Commissioner Ranalone, would you accept Commissioner
Yes, aye.
Keating as vice chairman?
Aye, yes.
Commissioner Carlo?
Aye.
Commissioner Keating?
Sure. Aye.
Commissioner Rabin?
Aye.
And Commissioner Roach is an aye. So
That's good,
Brian
Stu.
Keating
That's
is our vice chairman. And we'll move on to
And Tom, I will try to do my best also, but I'm just going to make sure you're never absent. So.
thank you, Brian. I'll try to schedule meetings around.
Yeah.
So now we have to the 2021 board members for health and safety. Do we have a nomination of a commissioner for the health and safety committee?
I will nominate Mr. Ranalone, who would be an excellent nominee.
Thank you.
I certainly can second that nomination. So, and it looks like he'll accept it. Commissioner Ranalone, you accept the position of board member to the Health and Safety?
Yes, I will.
And then, of course, being the chairman, I'm the second board member on that committee, and hopefully we'll reach out to the Health and Safety Committee of the local 916 and set up a meeting as soon as possible.
Great.
So then the next matter is appointing fire district treasurer, and we're hoping Jamie will also accept it. But I'd like to make a motion that we set forth to reappoint Jamie Headstrom, CPA, MST, to the position of treasurer of Eastchester Fire District until December 31st, 2021, at the rate of $85 an hour. The position also has pension eligibility if she wants it, health care insurance as required
I'll second that.
required by law. There's no incentive. Hours are estimated to be 20 hours per week. No longevity, no personal days, 2 weeks paid vacation at 20 hours per week, and overtime as required by law. So could I have a second to that motion?
I will second that.
And then I'll call a roll. Commissioner Ranalone?
Aye.
Commissioner Keating?
Aye.
Commissioner Carlo?
Aye.
Commissioner Roach is an aye. Commissioner Rabin?
Aye.
So, Jamie, you're our new treasurer to 20, well, you're our consistent treasurer following year.
Thank you very much.
No, thank you.
Is Jamie on?
Yes.
Yeah, she's
Okay.
on. She's on.
So then, the next appointment is an unfortunate one because it's the appointment to the secretary to the board of fire commissioners, and of course, we have not been successful.
Tom?
You locked up on us.
I think, yeah. So, Paul, can you hear me? I can hear you.
Yeah. It's not us, it's him.
Hiring,
It's Tom. It's Tom. Hey, Tom,
yes?
you're coming in and out, so we didn't hear most of what you said. I think we left off. You were mentioning the secretary position.
Yeah, and that did appear on my computer. I don't know why. So anyhow, we don't have a secretary to appoint at this time. I would like the board to pass a resolution right now to seek in-house legal counsel. Can I be heard?
Yes.
Okay. Is any discussion on this or how we should go forward?
You know what, Tom? Could you just repeat what you were saying? Because you did freeze, so I think it cut out the volume of you talking. So just recap what the motion is or the request for discussion.
Thank you, Stu. I would like to fulfill what the board had decided in 2019 to go out and seek in-house legal counsel, and we find that person, then we appoint them as fire district secretary.
Okay. Well, I would say this. I don't think it's a bad idea to find legal counsel, especially for in-house. I think we've all kind of circulated around the idea that we need some kind of regular, responsive legal counsel to be there for us and the fire district. That's not just labor counsel, but for general advice and duty. I would say that we could put a job posting together. We could do an RFP for services completely based upon what we expect and hourly wage, or we could do a full employment. So if the board is leaning towards creating the position and filling it with an employee, I'm open to it.
That would be my hope, because this way we'd get some continuity. We could have someone in the office 9 to 5 or 8 to 4, whatever hours are best for the chief, and have a person working for us and all the things that need to be done in the district.
I don't know, it's up for discussion. I mean, if you want, I can give you a motion to go out and fill that role.
So this would be somebody with a legal background, right? A lawyer, correct?
Lawyer.
That's right.
So do you really think that a lawyer's going to want to sit there for the most part of the day, and I would think the majority of their work would be administrative based, if I'm not mistaken? I could be wrong, but I can't imagine any lawyer wanting to sit there and spend at least half their day, if not more, doing administrative duties.
Well, I guess the way Tom is looking at this, I can only assume, because I mean we can explain it, but when you have a town or a village attorney that is in house, that is paid, that's what they do. They take up all of the administrative, legal, and contractual things that a district needs or a municipality needs on the daily, like RFPs. We've talked about putting out requests for proposals for various kind of maintenance things. I mean, I've done one for special services for IT, but a lawyer would do these kinds of things in house, or we could pay really like a lot of money for someone like Hoogan and Gerhardt to put something like that together, or running our bid processes and dealing with being at our meetings. And then if Tom is trying to roll that person into also the fire district secretary, it puts all of our, record retention assistance and minutes and all that stuff into it. There's people out there who look to be municipal attorneys, and they take these jobs. I mean,
I'm sorry, I get still.
No, that's it. I just think that's how it's clarified. Not like a normal where you get somebody out of a law firm and decide they want to be a lawyer for us only and be there all day. But there are municipal attorneys.
No, I understand that. I guess my concern is that would there be as much work, let's say, in a fire district as you would, let's say, in the town of Eastchester as a town attorney? Look, again, I have no problem if you want to go out and test the waters and see who bites. That's fine with me.
That's an excellent question, but I would say this. I believe there would be, because there is a number of things that we send off to our labor council that's not labor related, because we don't have any other legal representation.
And I will also say there's a number of things that we don't send off to our legal counsel that we could have a look at. In general terms, we had a workman's comp carrier tell us that they're only responsible for 25% of a member's injury. Well, a legal counsel would take that up and go to the other workman compensation carriers that our current one is claiming is 75% responsible, and work that out so it would work out favorably for the district and not against the district. Right now, we're not taking on that because we don't want to take on the cost. But if we had a person in-house that was being paid to pick these things up, then obviously we'd assign it to them.
Yeah, so if I could, this is Commissioner Keating, if I can interject for a second. I think, Paul, I think Tom is really leaning, if it sounds like something that's just not necessarily purely administrative and quasi position that can help legally. And, the attorneys these days actually type as much and quickly as, professional assistants. So, it's not like they would be hindered by having to do something secretarial in nature.
No, I just kind of like the idea of having an admin person like Lisa was in the office, and having another person doing the legal background that, as Tom mentioned. But again, whatever you guys want to do, I'm fine with.
Yeah, she is great.
I made a motion. If anyone wants a second, we can put it up to a vote. Or actually, we've already voted on it. It's really a matter of do we want to do this finally?
Yeah, we did do that, and we also made it as part of the budget.
Yeah, I was going to mention that it is still included in the budget, and you did vote on it previously. So now it would just be a matter of putting together a job description and talking about how we want to publish it.
Right.
So I don't see any problem moving forward.
It's a non-competitive class. I mean, but we're talking about a fire district secretary, which is already non-competitive, especially because we're also doing it as a part-time position. But even if we were to do an attorney, that's also non-competitive. It's specialized practice. So we could put that job description out with looking for an attorney is what I would advise. We look for an attorney And then part of the job description of the attorney is also the duties of the fire district secretary. And if when she or he is brought in for the interview process, they're advised that their position would be a combination of providing these additional services.
With an annual appointment.
Correct.
Yes. All right, so.
Oh, wait, hold on 1 second. That's a very good point. Just so that we're clear. Because you want to do an annual appointment, but we're talking about an employee. So we need to make sure that everyone on the board has that mechanism of understanding. So if you're going to do, you can certainly do a board appointment who is going to receive health benefits and a salary and all of that. But we do have to make a decision. Is this an employee that we are going to potentially have in the same way as we have Jamie? Or is it an employee like we do with our maintenance mechanic, who is an employee of the district, who's not reappointed?
Well, I'm willing to go either way. Obviously, I believe the secretary position would be an annual appointment, and the legal counsel could be regular employment. It's even though there'd be a combination.
I would probably suggest then that we should keep it as an annual appointment. It's an appointed position by the board. To give ourselves an out, obviously, and if we're not happy with such work, we can say, well, it's an annual appointment and we're just not reappointing you. I think that's the safest thing. And then if it comes down for budgeting or whatever in the future, we don't hamstring a board to have an employee that now either falls under civil service or otherwise.
I love it. All right, so I'll send an email to the entire board and the chief and Jamie tomorrow. I had made like a 15-point bulletin of what I thought would be the in-house legal counsel's responsibilities, and hopefully that'll jumpstart and we'll continue it in the February meeting. So the next thing, is everyone satisfied with that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there's any hurt in doing it. Absolutely. I'm agreeing with that. Yeah. Jamie, when did we vote on it? When was it voted on?
I mean, it was in last year's budget, so it had to be voted on in 2019.
We did. We voted on it in 19, I believe, in February or March when we did our meeting from the headquarters.
Okay.
I think that's
Sorry, I didn't mean to put you guys on the spot. I was just curious. Thank you.
That's fine.
So the next item is appointing a Freedom of Information Law. Oh, well, we have the Freedom of Information Law policy. We discussed the need to, this is last year's meeting, so I apologize. I will make a motion to appoint Jamie Hedstrom as Freedom of Information Law Public Records Access Officer and Chief Brian Tweem as the FOIL Appeal Officer for the year 2021. Can I have a second?
I'll second that. Commissioner Keating.
Thank you, Commissioner Keating. Commissioner Manalone?
Aye.
Commissioner Keating?
Aye.
Commissioner Carlo?
Aye.
Commissioner Roaches and I? Commissioner Rabin?
Aye.
Very good. So the next is workplace violence policy. Obviously, this was set in place. The contact person for receiving any complaints in 2021 will continue to be Chief Brian Tweem and the fire board chairman. Copies of said policy should be posted in each firehouse. Do you think that was done already this year, Chief?
Yeah, we go over that kind of stuff in January. The training captain usually not covering vacations at that time. So we go over all those policies, workplace violence, sexual harassment, all those policies will be covered this month. We'll make sure copies are in each house.
Are we required to vote on this right now, or is it just a done deal?
I mean, I believe it's a state law that we have to have it. It's part of PESH and OSHA.
We have to re-adopt it every year as part of the vote.
Okay, thank you, Stu. So again, I'll make a motion. Can I have a second?
Second.
That all members are in contact. So Commissioner Ranalone?
Aye.
Commissioner Keating?
Aye.
Commissioner Carlo?
Aye.
Commissioner Roaches and I? Commissioner Raven?
Aye.
And then this is another one, we're just the code of ethics. We're just saying that the Code of Ethics of the Fire District that was revised in January 2020 has been distributed to the board members. And Paul, if you have not gotten one, please ask. It could probably be emailed to you in an attachment. The Code of Ethics is about a 10 or 15 page bulletin.
Okay.
And then, so we're just basically distribute to the board members, the fire district treasurer, the secretary when we get one, the fire chief, and a certification will follow for all confirmation. The board's instructed chief, copies both now. So again, this is just an affirmation. I don't believe we have to vote on it, but just saying that we're upholding it again. Fire district council. So we want to, do we want to have a discussion? Do we want to reappoint our same fire district council for 2021?
I'll make that motion too.
I'll second it.
Very good. So Commissioner Keating made a motion, second by Commissioner Carlo, to appoint Dogman and Gerhardt LLP of 99 Corporate Drive, Binghamton, New York, as fire district council for the year 2021 with the 2020 rate schedules as given to fire. So Commissioner Ranalone?
Aye.
Carlo?
Tom, it's an aye for me, but just to clarify your notes, I didn't second it.
I apologize.
Oh, yeah, I did. Commissioner Raven.
Thank you, Commissioner Raven. Thank you, Paul. Commissioner Keating?
Aye.
Commissioner Carlo?
Aye.
Commissioner Roach is an aye. Commissioner Raven?
Aye.
All right, so we've reappointed Fire District Council. And then Ethics Council, again, we've used him several times last year. I think everyone is satisfied. Chief, was the latest FOIL request completed?
Jamie's working on that. Jamie, is that FOIL completed or is it still open?
No, the FOIL has been completed. The response was sent out at the end of December, as we were instructed by our legal counsel. Both Steve Slesnick and Coughlin and Gerhardt had to help us out with that one because it did cover a number of topics, but it has been replied to. The individual requesting the FOIL has 30 days to appeal the response, but we have completed our response.
And you're very happy with the work of both councils?
Oh, yes, absolutely. They've both been great.
Very good. So I'll make a motion that we reappoint Stephen Sledgwick, Esquire of Morrison Law Firm of 445 Hamilton Avenue, Suite 402, White Plains, New York, as Ethics Counsel as per the retainer on file. Can I get a second?
I'll second it.
Thanks, Brian. So Commissioner Ranalone?
Aye.
Commissioner Keating?
Aye.
Commissioner Carlo?
Aye.
Commissioner Roach is an aye, and Commissioner Raven?
Aye.
All right, so the next one is fire.
Tom, so Paul Ranalone, Commissioner Ranalone, seconded that.
Okay. That's going to be up for the transcriber to figure out.
Okay. Sorry.
No worries. All right, so Jamie, this again is up to your, we want to reappoint the fire district auditor. So I will make a motion to appoint BST and Company CPAs LLP as fire district auditor for fiscal year 2021 per the term of the existing agreement. Jamie, are you in agreement with that decision?
Yes, absolutely. When we went out, we have a 5-year contract with them. We went out to RFP, I believe, in 2019. So that's correct. And they've been great. They give us great service.
So all I need is a second then.
Second.
Thank you. I'm not even going to guess who.
It was Commissioner Raven. Maybe it would be helpful if we just do that. Say, second, Raven. That way, Tom will hear it.
Commissioner Ranalone.
Aye.
Commissioner Keating.
Aye.
Commissioner Carlo.
Aye.
Commissioner Roach is an aye. Commissioner Raven?
Aye.
Okay. Now the next topic is fire district physician. Does any commissioner have anything that they would like to discuss about fire district physician?
Commissioner Ranalone does.
Okay, please.
In years past, the department had their own physician who would give annual physicals that the members, and if the members called in sick, they were required to call the department physician and, you know, make a visit over there for the physician to determine when he'd be able to come back to work if he was out sick. I believe the department should continue that practice of having a department physician who will do annual physicals on the personnel. And, you know, I remember a few years ago, one of the department physician we had at the time was able to find something in one of our members that he asked them to go to a specialist to get checked out, and it saved that person's life. So I think no matter what the cost would be to have our own physician who would do that, it's certainly worth, you know, the amount of money it would cost is insignificant compared to saving a person's life.
Thank you, Commissioner Ranalone. Do you have any thoughts on that, Chief Tweed?
The reason we went to White Plains Urgent Care was because they're open 7 days a week and they're open till 7 p.m. on weeknights. So it gave us greater flexibility on the weekends. We did have a department physician, and, you know, he would be closed 2 to 3 days a week, you know, between the weekends, and he wouldn't see patients on a certain day. So I believe that was the reasoning. So it'd be up to the board if they want to go back to a 5-day-a-week physician.
No, okay, but you've never discussed with Dr. Coyle up at White Plains Urgent Care about doing physicals for the members?
I had discussions with them. They're not really... Jamie and I had discussed having the members go to Partners in Safety. That's where we send the members for pre-employment medical exams. They're more geared towards fire department. They do Fairview Fire Department. They do, you know, the hearing, and, you know, they have a structured fee. Where Dr. Goyle, I have to explain to her the whole NFPA standards on the medicals and stuff. She's not really familiar, you know, with the whole thing. So there was a big uptick. So, you know, we were planning for this year to use Partners in Safety, which several other departments in the area use. And they're more of a, you know, fire department type medical exam.
And will they also do the fit testing that's required?
If we want them to, we have the machine to do the fit testing, but they would do the OSHA clearance. You have to answer the 8-page respiratory questionnaire. So they would give us the clearance on that for the members, and then we could do the fit testing in-house.
All right, so certainly get us an email on that or more information. I don't know if it needs to be voted on or if we can just move forward. Isn't it in the rules and regulations that the members are supposed to be given an annual physical?
I don't know if it's in the rules and regulations. It's in the contract that will, you know, offer them a physical. So yes, with COVID and everything last year, we did not get into it, but we are going to get back into it this year. And I believe the year before we didn't do it as well. So we want to get back on track with that.
Very good. Thank you, Chief. And anytime we can assist you, please let us know. But for the rest of the board, are we satisfied with Dr. Goyol's performance of duties for the district? And am I correct in assuming that the members are on abeyance to go see her at this moment?
She's doing telemedicine, so they have to call her. And if she's with a patient, she calls the members back. But she's not seeing anybody in person unless it's to do a COVID test.
Okay, perfect. So any thoughts from the other commissioners?
Yeah, I'm fine with proceeding with Dr. Coyle's reappointment for her services.
Okay. And everyone else seems is in agreement? We can send this to vote?
Yes.
All right, so a motion by Commissioner Roach and second by?
I'll second Commissioner Raven.
That Dr. Goyle of White Plains Urgent Care at 10 Chester Avenue, White Plains, New York, be appointed for the year of 2021 as Fire District Physician. And Commissioner Ranalone,
Aye.
Commissioner Keating,
Sorry,
Commissioner
guys.
Keating,
Aye.
Okay.
I was on mute.
no problem. Commissioner Carlo,
Aye.
Commissioner Roach is an aye, and Commissioner Raven.
Aye.
Okay, and then last year we or actually 2 years ago, we appointed a third fire district chaplain. And so I have the good luck this year to appoint again, or to make a motion to appoint all three of our fire district chaplains. So I ask a motion to appoint Reverend Carl Maiello from the Good Shepherd Church, and Reverend Anthony Sorgi from Immaculate Conception Church, and Rabbi Shruly Deitch from Shabbat of Bronxville as fire district chaplains for the year 2021. Could I get a second?
Second.
Second. I'll make that motion, Tom. Keating, I'll make the motion.
Thank you. Commissioner Ranalone,
Aye.
Commissioner Keating,
Aye.
Commissioner Carlo,
Aye.
Commissioner Roach is an aye, and Commissioner Raven.
Aye.
Okay, so the next one is the appointment of fire district insurance broker. We've used Arthur Gallagher Risk Management Service for several years, at least every year I'm here. Does anyone have any comments or want to discuss this?
No,
I think we're happy with him, Tom.
Yes, I think so too. Anyone else? Well, then we'll make a motion, was offered by Commissioner Roach, and is looking for a second from,
I'll second it.
to appoint Arthur J. Gallagher Risk Management Services of 2 Gannett Drive, White Plains, New York, as Fire District General Insurance Broker of Record for the year of 2021. And the board vote, Commissioner Ranalone,
Aye.
Commissioner Keating,
Aye.
Commissioner Carlo,
Aye.
Commissioner Roach is an aye, and Commissioner Raven.
Aye.
And so that is passed. Kevin Gallagher is our insurance broker again. And the fire district official newspaper, we really have few choices. So I again will make a motion to appoint the Journal News as the official newspaper for the 2021 fire district year. Can I get a second?
Commissioner Ranalone. Aye.
All right. Commissioner Ranalone says aye. Commissioner Keating, I heard aye. Commissioner Carlo.
Aye.
Commissioner Roach is an aye. Commissioner Raven.
If I have to, aye.
You can abstain.
I know.
All right. Fire District Depository Bank. Obviously, we've been using Chase Bank and the Federal Reserve Treasury, which I understand went up today. I don't think it's time to get back in yet, but maybe in May. So Commissioner Roach will make a motion, and looking for a second, that J.P. Morgan Chase and the Federal Reserve Treasury Direct Account be appointed to Fire District Depository for the year 2021.
I'll second that, Tom.
Thank you, Paul. Commissioner Carlo did that. So Commissioner Ranalone,
Aye.
Commissioner Keating,
Abstain.
Commissioner Carlo,
Aye.
Commissioner Roach is an aye, Commissioner Raven.
Aye.
Okay, and fire district order, we already did that, right? Okay, turn that page over. Oh, so last year we made a new technology and digital communication policy. Is that something that has to be renewed annually, or is it still in place and that's good?
I think it's renewed annually, but it is still good.
Okay, so then I'll make a motion that we renew our new technology and digital communication policy. If I can get
Commissioner Ranalone votes aye.
Thank you. That both the social media policy and the information technology policy be readopted by the fire district for the year 2021. Commissioner Ranalone,
Aye.
Commissioner Keating,
Aye.
Commissioner Carlo,
Aye.
Commissioner Roach is an aye, Commissioner Raven.
Aye.
All right. So now we're on to the payment of bills. Our fire district secretary had sent us the warrants that we received, and they were reviewed by the chief prior to us receiving them. I reviewed them, and I'm prepared to make a motion to fulfill them. Has all the other commissioners had the opportunity to review the warrants and invoices for the payment of bills?
Yes.
Yep, yes.
Now, Paul ran alone. If you weren't able to, you would just abstain for this vote until you get them next month.
Oh, I did get them, so I did review them.
Very good, perfect. Okay, so then Commissioner Roach will make a motion to pay. We have a warrant dated December 10th, 2020 for $103,000, $521.20. We have a credit card bill dated 12/18/2020 for $639.58 for a total warrants and credit card bills of $104,160,078. And can I have a second?
I'll second Commissioner Ranalone.
Thank you. So Commissioner Ranalone,
Aye.
Commissioner Keating,
Aye.
Commissioner Carlo,
Aye.
Commissioner Roach is an aye, Commissioner Raven.
Aye.
All right, we're basically did the reorganization meeting and paid the bills. The only question I have for, basically for Jamie is, are we in a position to move with the permissive referendum this evening?
I don't believe so. If you saw the emails, the back and forth, Joe Paterno had sent some comments that he met with the town of Eastchester, and he made various recommendations on how to address the ADA concerns. I had sent that over to our attorneys, and the response we got back is, you know, there's clearly something that still needs to be ironed out. Because if the changes that Joe is recommending or proposing exceed a certain threshold, it's possible that we might have to rebid the project. So I think I don't know that we can do anything until we've sat down with both Paterno and our legal counsel to determine the best way to move forward to address the ADA compliance issues without potentially having to rebid, or that may be the answer. So I don't think we can do it yet.
So do we need to schedule a special meeting in a week or two to try to sit down in a conference call with Nathan and Joe and you know, hopefully even get the building department involved so that they can?
Yeah, I think so. Like I said, right now it's just I've sort of been going between Joe and Nathan, and so I've gotten pieces from each of them. But there's definitely some follow up that needs to be done, and I think it does need to be a full discussion because you know, Joe is making recommendations for ways we can meet the ADA requirements that you know are prefer to do it differently. There's various ways we could meet the requirements. So I think it does require a sit down, you know, a conference call between everybody.
Does anyone else have any thoughts on
So I just have one question. So this is all because we're going to the reserve funds, right, Tom?
Well, the permissive referendum would be because we went into the, you know, to have the permissive referendum would be to go with the reserve fund. This is all about ADA, you know, to provide certain building department requirements. In other words, this would happen whether we were paying cash or going into the reserve fund.
Yeah, that's right. It's coming up with a permissive referendum because as part of the permissive referendum, you have to set a not to exceed amount. So when you're asking to take money out of the reserve, you set a ceiling. And then, which we were ready to do until we got the, you know, and this new information from Joe Paterno about how him and the town building department have come up with how we're going to address the ADA. That impacts now the cost of the project and then from our legal counsel's perspective, it's saying it may impact our ability to award a bid as previously spec'd out. So
No, I have an idea on that, Jamie, and I may.
Tom, can I answer? So, Paul, just to answer your question succinctly, no, it doesn't have anything to do with the permissive referendum. It still needs to be done. It's part of the statute, and if a certain percentage needs to be met. However, you are making the payment.
You know, from my perspective, looking at what the building department, what Joe Paterno suggested, what the building department looked at, Joe Paterno basically said we have to spend a certain amount of money. He thought ADA bathrooms. He chose two, and we have one on the first floor and one on the second floor. I would prefer an ADA bathroom and an ADA kitchen on the apparatus floor. Rather than do something upstairs that we really don't know what we're going to end up using it for. I think it's probably going to end up being storage. So yes, so we should table this for sure because we can't get to it. But I would like to discuss it over email and not wait till our next February meeting if we could get 3 or 4 commissioners available for a special meeting, say in 2 weeks. To deal with this, I think it's something we should seriously consider rather than prolonging it longer.
Tom, you know, the thing is the weather is not going to, once we missed, I think, the opportunity, another month or two is not going to make a difference.
All right, that's fair enough. In that regard, then, I will.
Commissioner Roche, I would just say the only thing is that if we are headed down a road where we're going to say that what we need to do to meet the ADA requirements is out of the scope of the project that was already bid, and we're going to have to rebid, that might be, you know, that's something we could get started. Because that if that is the case, that's going to push us much further down the road because they're going to have to redo the bid and we're going to have to go out to bid all over again. I'm not saying that's definitely going to happen, but from what Joe has said and what Nathan has said, it's a possibility. So it might not be worth it might be worth starting the discussions
Sooner than later.
Yeah.
All right, well, we'll do it via email and however else we can do it until we're able to convene again. But I would like to propose some meeting dates for the year, and if they're acceptable, again, I can email them tomorrow, and then they can be posted, or we can discuss them. But February 6th, March 6th, April 10th, May 15th, June 16th, July 14th, August 11th, September 18th. I believe October 21st will be the required meeting. November 20th, December 9th, you know, again, the Thursday after election. So you know, everyone look at those. You know, I think it's better if we have a schedule out at least by February. We put it on the website so everybody in the community knows when we're scheduling meetings. Other than that, I think we're ready to close. Does anyone suggest we need to go into executive session?
No, I think, well, I do not. I think the chief has, he's asking for a moment of silence, just for everybody's edification.
For retired Assistant Chief Andrew DiCiccio.
Before we end the meeting, Commissioners, before we end the meeting, I was wondering if I could bring up a couple of items that were already actually voted on last year, but I'd like to see if the board would be willing to revisit them. And namely the test for captain and the buyout program. I was wondering if we could discuss those and possibly take another vote on them at this meeting. If you, I can give my reasoning why I'm bringing them up if you'd like.
Sure, Paul.
Okay. The buyout program, as you discussed it a couple of months ago, which is going to appeal to people who have more than 20 years on the job They're at top pay. Their medical and pension, everything the department pays for. Could be getting, they could retire at this time, and we would be able to hire new probationary firefighters at a much lower rate than the senior firefighters are getting paid. Plus, any new probationary firefighters are paying 25% of their medical for their entire career, and also their insurance. And I think it's a win-win for the department that we'd be able to get rid of senior members and get probationary guys in there, young guys. I'm not saying guys, personnel who are less likely, hopefully, to sustain any serious injuries only because they're younger and more able to do heavy and strenuous work without getting injured. That being said, on that, the test for captain, I don't believe is warranted at this time, since the current list has only been in effect for a little over a year. Only one person has been appointed a captain on that list, and normally the list is good for 4 years. And I know if I was on that list, and I just took it, say, a year and a half ago, and I've already got to take another test, I'd be a little disappointed, especially if I was in the top 3 or 4 of the current list. So anyway, those are the 2 items. I was wondering if we could revisit them.
Well, I will ask a question out loud. It's my understanding that allowing someone to take a captain's test now does not knock out those who are already on the list. It would reconcile everyone onto one list. Or create a secondary list, but we would still be responsible for exhausting the first list first. Jamie, do you have anything, any guidance on that?
What you said, that it's the second way. It's going to create a second list, but we can't use that list until the first list expires. So
right. So it really is a benefit for us to have a backup of captains, but yet we're still tied to the original list, which would be the list of those captains who are probably, or potential captains who would have a gripe about us voting to allow for there to be a second list. But we still have to use that first list first.
Oh, okay. I was not aware of that. If that be the case, then I guess that would be fine.
I mean, Civil Service has advised that, the list we have right now is good through the end of 2023. The only way you could go to a secondary captain list, the only scenario would be if, 4 out of 6 people on the current list said they were no longer interested in the position. But so the first list is good. It's good till 2023. We're not going to get to another list. So that was, I think, part of the question was, do you take the exam this year when you're not going to be able to use the list it creates until, the end of 2023 at the earliest?
That list, October 2023.
Right.
And if we don't take a test, if we don't have lieutenants taking a captain's test, what's going to happen is what happened 2 years ago when we decided not to have firefighters take a lieutenant's test. We don't have a lieutenant's exam now. So if
okay.
2 years...
So then, let's say the current lieutenants who are on the captain's list now, if they take this new test, and just for argument's sake, they do worse on the second test, they still keep their ranking on the first test, and that is the list that the department would go by if they were to make promotion.
Correct.
Yes.
Okay. That's fine. I was not aware.
But they're not going to do worse, Paul. They're going to do better.
And I don't know if it's something that we need to vote on, but I would like to make a motion that every time Westchester County offers Eastchester Fire Department an opportunity to take a promotion test, that we accept it. It doesn't cost the district anything. And as we've just discussed, it doesn't hurt any members on the list. So there's no sense not having them take the test every time it's available.
Commissioner Roche,
Okay.
I'm sorry to interrupt.
I agree with that. Okay, I'll agree with that. I did not know that that's the way it worked.
Commissioner Roche, just to let you know, people that are working that day will get relief, and we have to pay overtime for, say there's 2 lieutenants that want to take the captain's exam, they would be allowed to go take the exam, so there would be 4 to 6 hour overtime cost while they're out taking the test.
And I hope the next time there's a lieutenant exam that we're paying 10 firefighters overtime because we put 10 guys taking that test.
Okay.
Because that's the best department we could have, a studying department, people learning their job and keeping studying and taking the test and improving it. That you couldn't ask for anything better.
All right. Thank you very much for the explanation and everything. It was very helpful.
Thank you, and thank you for joining us at your first meeting. So we'll stand for a moment of silence for retired Assistant Chief Andrew DeChico.
DeChico.
Hold on, Tom. I thought Mr. Paul Randall wanted to talk about buyouts again.
Yeah, the buyout program. I believe it's a win-win for the department. We're going to get some. If we get rid of senior personnel who are basically costing us roughly double what a probationary firefighter would cost. I don't see why we would not go for that.
Are you seconding that motion, Paul?
I will make the motion.
Okay.
It would be the same motion.
Hold on. I'm sorry. We're all getting a little shut, Paul.
Hold on. This is Commissioner Keating. Tom, let's just hold off for a second and let's take a couple minutes to discuss it. Paul ran alone.
Yes.
The one thing about the buyouts you don't want is it to be a moving target. Because then no one will take the buyout till it's the absolute optimal time. Take it. Someone won't take it a year or two before. That could actually help everybody. That's for one. Secondly, this year we are going to be doing some much needed repairs, particularly in Chester Heights, which has been pending for my understanding now, at least 25 years. You're going to need money for that. So to do a buyout now would cost too much money and potentially leave the department having to borrow money even just to make salary. Am I understanding that correctly, Jamie? We may have lost Jamie.
No, I'm here. I can't. I'd have to look at it. I mean, we certainly, we've already committed to using, a portion of our unreserved funds this year just to fund our operating costs, since we had some unanticipated increases, and we are talking about Chester Heights is going to probably take a big piece of the reserve. Right. I mean, I can't say for sure that if you were to do the buyout now that we would definitely be borrowing come 2022, but we are getting certainly which is not, and again, it's just a different way to finance the department. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but I can't say for sure that this would create that, but we are headed that way, as we increase our costs.
Mr. Chairman, can I just interject for a second? I think that I think everyone knows that there's been several of us who've been very interested in doing buyouts as part of the last budget proceeding. I do think that it's important for us now that we're in the new year to table the conversation but not nix it. Give Jamie the opportunity to reconcile the fiscal year of 2020 all the way through so that we know where we're at, and revisit this buyout option in a meeting or two once we have a better understanding of what we're doing. I know it sounds kind of odd that we're saying this now, whereas in October, November, December, we were very buyout focused, which we were. But as Jamie has so eloquently advised, there has been some rising costs that we're now meeting. And generally, a buyout would be a great thing to do, but I would want it to be structured as far as what we'd be offering the criteria that one would have to meet in order to take advantage of it. But I'm not opposed to a buyout. I just want to make sure that it's organized and being executed at a time of the year where it's most effective for the district, not just to move people off the list. And in fact, I don't even know when we're actually going to be able to start hiring again. We need to have that conversation. That conversation does not need to be tonight as far as I'm concerned, but I think I'm not against the idea of a buyout. I just think we need to have some organization tied to it. Jamie, are you done reconciling 2020 yet?
No, not yet. I mean, it's
okay. That's all the more reason we need to wait for that to happen.
There's quite a few things that still have to come in, for December. So that's why I didn't do budget transfers for tonight.
Yeah, we will probably have to do budget transfers, a nice laundry list of budget
at the February meeting.
Narrow it out. So I think we should wait till after that's done and then reconvene on the buyout conversation.
Okay.
I'm not against it. I just think we should be just organized.
Commissioner, if I could just say, I'm sorry, one thing. The next academy is tentatively scheduled for March 1st. So if we miss that, then it would probably be in the fall, the next time we'd be able to hire for a career fire academy.
Okay, thank you, Chief.
And wasn't CPAT already done for this academy coming up?
We have 4 people or 5 people, I believe, with CPAT, or 6 people with CPAT, which means we could hire 4 people off the current list with CPAT. So we could hire up to 4 that we already have with CPAT out of the 6 candidates left, if they were all still interested.
Yep.
Does the board want me to request the list in anticipation of potentially, just so we have it in the scenario that the board wants to consider hiring at the February meeting? It doesn't cost me anything to request it.
I mean, it's up to the board. I'm good either way. If you guys want to just request it and look it over, there's no harm in it. There's no commitment. I'm fine with reviewing it.
And Jamie, if you don't request it, then the board cannot hire?
No, not necessarily, but if we're talking about, meeting again February 6th, and the chief is saying the academy starts March 1st, then if by February 6th you say, yes, we're interested, you've got to build, then you put yourself on more of a time constraint to get the list, send the canvas letters, meet the candidates. This would at least, save a little time on that end.
Chief, what's our number right now as far as active on-duty firefighters in Brass?
We're down 2 retirements, Tom Cusack and Anthony Rossini, who didn't retire. He left the department.
Right.
So we're down 2, and we have 1 member on light duty. He's been on light duty for probably almost a year now. I don't know when there's going to be any determination on that. It could be next month. It could be 6 months. So we're down 2 firefighters from our normal staffing.
Okay.
Hey, Chief, are we allowed to transfer in a firefighter in Rossini's place?
You'd have to ask Jamie that question.
I believe we are.
Yeah, I believe you are. I don't know how you go about doing that, but transfers are an option.
Yep, police officers can be transferred as well.
Don't they have to take the test again and then be chosen off the next list?
I think that one of the interesting. Well, maybe we would transfer one in place of Mr. Rossini.
Well, that would need to be investigated, because I think there's a lot of questions. Do we how do you even ask for such a transfer?
Right. It could be, it's probably,
I don't know.
It's a very interesting conversation, and although it's not exactly executive session topic, because we're not talking about one specific person,
Right,
it's probably
correct.
something we should discuss once we get some more information about what we can do, and then chat about it in public session. Jamie, could you
Good
pull
idea.
up the service and just see what the process is for a paid fire district to transfer in firefighters if they wish to do so?
Yeah, no problem.
Cool.
And Chief, I wanted to make a comment on the restricted firefighter. First of all, he did a great job, on the 3 or 4 meetings that he did. Would he be willing to try a shot at transcribing these Google Meet meetings?
I could ask him, but I don't know, because, Commissioner Raven said they have to be word for word, so I think people that do transcriptions would probably be a better person. He took about 4 days per meeting, and each meeting was about 40 minutes, and that was just summarizing it. So if he had to type in every single word, it would probably take him about a month per meeting, but, I could assign him that if that's what you want him to do. But I did have to do a lot of typos, so on each of his meetings, I spent about 20 minutes retyping for him. So I don't know how much time that's going to save if I have to come in and retype it.
Well, don't do that. But what about this? What if he did do that, the best he could do, and then we hired a transcriber with that framework that might help her or him do it quicker, and then cost us less?
I'll start him on that tomorrow, and we'll see how he does.
Thank you,
If
Chief.
that's what you like.
Awesome.
Okay.
So, any other comments from any other commissioners?
Yeah, Tom, just so you know, I know that you've read off the dates for the meetings, but and to be honest with you, I have no desire or intention to be on a Saturday meeting.
That you've already expressed that, Paul. That's absolutely fine. That's your prerogative. I have 6 Saturday meetings and 6 evening meetings. All the evening meetings are in the summer, Wednesdays in the summer. I try to make them compatible and fair to everybody, and I understand you've told us that you can't make them, and I apologize. If I also want to be fair to all the other commissioners who have said stuff. I would like to do them weekdays, but I think that's unfair to Commissioner Raven. That if we did weekday mornings. So.
Well, Tom, we know. I don't want to get into a big discussion on this, but the only reason why we're doing Saturdays is because it does Commissioner Keating. Otherwise, this wouldn't be an issue. So, and to inconvenience the chief and the union president and others are going to Saturday because of one commissioner, I think it's unfair. But that's all I'm going to say. I don't want to get into a big discussion. You guys do what you want. I just can't be on Saturdays.
Well, I will tell you this, Paul, this narrative has gone on for just about a year. This is Commissioner Keating. Saturdays are not solely for me, for one. And
Brian,
I'm confident let me just speak, if I may. Saturdays are not just for me. Secondly, it's not like on Saturdays I'm taking time away from my family and spent 4 hours Saturday on fire commissioner meetings. If you cannot make a Saturday, come up with some alternative date where everybody's amenable to looking at it. But just don't unilaterally say, hey, I can't make the dates that you can make. Secondly, just finish. Before I got on the board, and I checked in on this twice, I asked, hey, would I work in the evenings? Is that going to be a problem? I was told no less than 3 times, absolutely not, Brian. We will work around your schedule. I don't know how you say now, after a year.
I don't know who you spoke to. I just know that if it wasn't for you, you got to be honest, it wasn't for you, this would not be an issue. Don't say it's for others.
Paul,
had problem on a weeknight.
I'm not, Paul, I don't want to argue with you.
Brian, just be honest and admit the fact that you are the reason why these Saturdays have popped up. That's the only reason.
I made the suggestion that I can make other times. I can be here 9 to 5, or 9 to 4 every single day of the week, or 8 to 4. Make it tomorrow morning. I'll be there.
Again, you're driving that one as well. Prior to you coming on the board, there's never an issue meeting on a weeknight. This is all because of you. That's fine. Admit that.
That's fine. Paul, I just said that I asked if it would be a problem, and I was told it won't be a problem.
Can I interject for a second? It's my hope that 2021 is going to be a new year for the Fire District Board. That we don't need to squabble at each other. We all know how we got to Saturday meetings. There were Saturday meetings before Commissioner Keating was ever on the board. And
true.
that's the fact. And let's just
That's
leave it at
absolutely
that.
true.
And let's move forward and not, we're projecting to the public. Let's project a unified, at least a genuinely, a board that can get along and accomplish things. So with that, I would like to join the meeting.
Tom, let me just finish, please. Paul, if you have alternative times, just offer them up. I'm happy to try to figure something out. That was the message that came from me from day one. I'm happy to try.
The alternative
It doesn't seem like you're happy to try to work it out.
It's not a question of that. It's the question where these are traditionally been weeknight meetings, and that's where I'd like to have them keep. And I have no other suggestion. Weeknights.
That's what you like, but I have four commissioners.
All right. Again, I don't think we're going to accomplish it here.
We have 4 commissioners who the Saturday is an amenable time to.
Okay. All right. That's fine.
I would just say that come up with a different time that works for everyone, Paul.
Anything else?
No.
All right, well, could you lead us in your moment of silence, Chief?
Thank you. We're going to hold a moment of silence for retired Assistant Chief Andrew DeChico, badge 66. He passed away on December 31st, 2020. He was appointed January 1st, 1963, and retired December 31st, 1987, serving for 24 years. We offer our condolences to his family and ask for a moment of silence, please. Thank you very much.
Very good. I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
A second.
Thank you. And I'll just, as a roll call, aye?
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Good night, Tom.
Good night.
Good night.